Welcome back to another edition of GrokTALK, brought to you by GrokTALK.com and Grok Media LLC. And I swear, one of these days I'll find some time and get organized enough to have actual guests, because I would much rather seriously have you listen to them than me. And now that I have the GrokTALK morning update to practice my whatever this is, it'd be nice to use this space for guests, conversations about what's going on in New Hampshire and the world, which is kind of how we started. So that's where we're going to go pretty soon, I hope. I wanted to let you know that we have added another podcast. It's a filler right now. It doesn't have a weeknight slot. It's called Granite Discourse. It's a one-on-one interview format, and it's New Hampshire people. It's about Granite State stuff. So we're going to start sharing that. Because our other podcasters like to take days off once in a while, and sometimes they don't tell me in advance, so it's good to have something sitting nearby. Mondays, GrokTALK, of course. Tuesday, Granite State Live. This week, I will be in studio for Granite State Live, so that should be interesting. We'll see how that goes. And that's not what the podcast is about today. I actually wasn't sure what I was going to do when I got up this morning. I hadn't planned anything. I've been pretty busy going to events. I was on a boat out on the ocean all day yesterday. If you follow Granite Grok on Facebook, you will have seen a very short video of me on our way back in from about 15 to 20 miles out into the ocean. We saw some whales. It was pretty cool. Only whales we've seen this year, which was nice. So it's a great way to end the season. And we will not be going out on the ocean again. It's too damn cold. Although yesterday was 80 on land and 70 on sea, and it was beautiful and a great day. So not that you necessarily need to care about that. But anyway, I didn't have a clue what I was going to do, which is typical. I get up, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. That happens almost every day. With the morning update and a lot of the content that I create. I just have to see what inspires me. And today, what inspired me was a tweet that somebody shared over on our Signal. No, sorry, not Signal, our Telegram channel, which please look for Granite Grok on Telegram and follow us there, and you will have seen this already. But anyway, somebody shared this TikTok video from a young lady who is apparently a really big Taylor Swift fan. And the retweet says, Taylor Swift's getting her white picket fence ending is going to mentally holocaust an entire generation of millennial liberal women who were told everything is going to be okay and you don't need no man or babies. So we're gonna listen to some of that if we can stand to listen to it again. I've listened to it a couple of times to take notes, but it's just too damn funny. Taylor's getting married. She just released an album. It's a big deal. And this particular fan dissects the album, and in her opinion, Taylor is now dragging her fans down the conservative pipeline, and she's not happy about it. So we're going to take a quick break, and GrokTALK will be back in 60 seconds, or less. New Hampshire Republican Governor Kelly Ayotte has been making a lot of noise about how she's funding education. The Republican budget she just signed provides more money for education than ever before. She even bragged the other day that New Hampshire is top 10 in the country when it comes to funding our children's education, as if giving money to school systems has anything to do with learning. If you look at the math, and if you got schooled in New Hampshire, the odds are good it's not your best subject. It's the exact opposite. The more money we throw at schools, the less kids learn. We're committed to wasting money on an experiment that failed, unless wasting money to drive parents to homeschool their kids was the goal. We prefer to pick on Democrats, lower hanging fruit and all that, but our rhetorical woodshed doesn't discriminate. If that sounds refreshing, you need to check us out. This is Steve McDonald for Granite Grok, and we'll keep shining the light on them for you. Welcome back. And yes, it's me, Steve McDonald, owner of GraniteGrok.com, editor, and all those other fun things that make that website such an exciting experience for everyone who comes to visit us, pissing people off left and right every day. So anyway, we're going to talk about this young lady who's the Taylor Swift fan on TikTok. Heartbroken, it seems.
Taylor Swift is handing the conservative agenda on a silver platter to the masses. And before I go any further, and before you argue with me, you cannot convince me that the master lyricist of our generation, akin to Shakespeare, the Easter egg master of our generation, is not aware of what her entire optics and lyrics and album and everything is giving at this very moment.
All right, so the problem appears to be that for the entirety of Taylor Swift's career, she's kind of sort of gone on this arc where being a single woman, very powerful in the music industry, the wealthiest female artist in history. She's worth more than $1 billion. She's got a huge brand. She's got a massive fan base. They love her. She could crap on a plate and serve it to them. At least I used to think that, and they'd be fine with it. Well, apparently not if it leans a little bit into what this particular individual thinks is conservatism.
And before you suggest that this was supposed to be a satirical album, I would like to remind you how she feels about this album in her own words.
World to me to have this creative experience where like we knew that we had to bring the best ideas we've ever had.
Yeah.
And I also know the pressure I'm putting on this record by saying that, but I don't care because I love it that much. And there's not other ones coming. This is the record I've been wanting to make for a very long time.
I don't see it. I haven't listened to the album. Okay, fair enough. But she's going to quote some lyrics and she's going to talk about some things. And feel free to be amused by it.
I'll try to rapid fire this as fast as I can so that my video is not an hour long, but we're going to start with the rollout of the album.
Right, so Taylor's really excited about this album. She thinks it's the album she wanted to make, and this fan has some thoughts about it.
The announcement of the album on our boyfriend's football podcast. Our boyfriend who plays for the NFL, who we are now aligning our brand with, who is one of the most racist and problematic industries in our country. Yes. Listen, I don't know how long Taylor Swift's been doing this, but I know it's been a pretty good amount of time. She's worked pretty hard for her career. But why are we sharing what you are saying is the best piece of work you've ever put out, and you're going to share it with a man? You're going to announce it with...
To her credit, the NFL does have some issues. You know, lying, cheating, gambling, woman beating. I don't know about racism. That's a stretch. I think that's just, but you know, the NFL isn't conservative. Not even kind of. I mean, they've sort of pretended a little bit, but overall, they're all ready to just go running back into the arms of BLM or whoever else comes along. There's nothing conservative about that.
This is where the optics are starting. We are creeping our way down the conservative pipeline, and before you say that's a reach, I'm not done. We all know what's coming next, the engagement. They got engaged as a package deal with the album rollout. Yes, they did. The album was announced, and 1 day later, 2 days later, it was announced that they were engaged. We could talk about how manufactured that is. We could talk about how inauthentic it is. We could also talk about how it is yet another step towards the conservative pipeline.
Yeah, she's sharing it with a man. She announced it on her fiance's podcast, Travis Kelcie. Apparently, at least to this fan, Travis Kelcie is some sort of dog whistle for conservatism.
When I first heard the lyric, I'm not a bad bitch and I'm not a savage, if that is not the most dog whistly shit I've ever heard in my life.
So anyway, let's not get too far down the conservative pipeline with this young lady. Let's talk a little bit about Travis Kelcie, shall we? Because I don't know why she thinks he's a conservative, but he's not. Travis Kelcie, the Kansas City Chiefs tight end, has maintained a relatively neutral public stance on politics. However, his actions and associations suggest a leaning toward progressive views. Support for progressive causes? Yes, Kelcie has participated in campaigns promoting the COVID-19 vaccine and has appeared in socially progressive sketches on Saturday Night Live. Kneeling during the national anthem? Very not conservative. Taylor certainly is not conservative. She's never, to my knowledge, endorsed a Republican. She has endorsed Democrats openly. And so I think that answers the question about where they are as a power couple. They've got gobs and gobs of money. Kelcie could live fine, very fanciful and wealthy lifestyle without Taylor, who has billions more dollars than he does. But he's in the doesn't have to give a shit about money category, and she's just in another category. Not anywhere near the I can do whatever I want, like buy countries and X and stuff like Elon Musk, who's worth $500 billion, and that's a completely different elevation of lifestyle and mental space. Really, is what it is. I mean, it's one thing to have millions of dollars and not have to think about money. Not really, you know. You could just spend some, and it doesn't concern you about what you're going to do with your future. Down the road when you're not earning money, because you're always going to be earning money on your money. But, not very many people are up in that stratosphere. And so, but again, Kelcie is in a place that most of us will never see. and Taylor is several levels above that. But they've managed to find happiness together. And a lot of people were worried about Taylor for a long time. Was she ever going to actually find a man and get engaged and then get married? And of course, she hasn't done the last thing yet, has she? And traditionally, what would happen is, you know, a year from now, they're going to break up and it'd be big news. But for the moment, she's launching her almost conservative dog whistle album on a man's NFL podcast.
Now, if you're unaware about her history with the Orange Man, he didn't like her very much. He, in all caps, I hate Taylor Swift. She's a childless cat lady. I want you to bank that for later in the video. But once this engagement happened, we had a public statement put out by Pumpkin Man. And he said, wow, Taylor Swift, you know what? She's a great person. She's a terrific person even. And I'm very happy for them. I wish them best in their marriage. Okay. Now, I'm not claiming that Taylor Swift can control what that man says or that they are partnering in these words. No, I'm not saying that. But the U.S. has a history of using pop culture to further a political agenda. She's doing what he wants everyone else to do, is to get married and have white babies.
So that would definitely have young women who might be, I don't know, cat ladies, I have no idea, a little concerned. So the culture's got its panties in a twist. And so is it true? I don't know. We'll have to look around and see what happens. But there's a lot of things going on here, a lot of things in motion.
Moving on to Wish List, let's take a moment for these lyrics. They want a fat ass and a baby face. They want freedom. They want 3 dogs they call their kids. But I just want you. Have a couple kids, have the whole block looking like you. And say that again. I want to have your white babies, and I actually want our entire neighborhood to be racially homogenous. She went through this entire thing with Trump, right? About how she and her fan base did not like being called childless cat ladies. And now Taylor is calling y'all childless cat ladies.
Y'all are childless cat ladies. No, you're not. You're just making decisions based on, well, first of all, she's a pop star. She makes music. Sometimes her music's good. Sometimes it sucks. I think her music's gone downhill lately. I'm probably not going to listen to anything on her new album. And that's not a statement about Taylor. I mean, she's obviously earned what she's gotten. She's worked really hard. She started out as a young girl in the music industry, and she's managed to survive to be semi-normal, even though she has progressive leanings. And then she met Travis, and I guess, you know, they're really happy together.
Because she's about to pop out some kids. And you know what's coming next? Taylor Swift line of baby product. You too could pop out some kids and live in a racially homogenous neighborhood.
So good for them. If they want to have white babies, they can have white babies. I don't think they can have any other color baby. I hate to tell the fan that that's not something that she has any control over. And I don't think it has anything to do with white babies. I think it has something to do with her discovering her, I don't know, maternal clock or something. I mean, she's getting up there. She can't keep having babies forever because the older you get, the more dangerous it becomes for the woman and the child. So, their choice, though, not mine. And I don't think, honestly, Donald Trump has anything to do with it. I don't think there's a conservative pipeline. I don't think that Taylor or Travis are going to be showing up at the White House and throwing millions of dollars at J.D. Vance's presidential campaign. Should he choose to run? Who knows? He may. He's well positioned for it and currently at the top of the polling if he were to run. So none of which would make this young lady happy, and certainly quite a few others.
This song was very much giving Pick Me. I thought that we learned our lesson with the she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts. The Pick Me song of all Pick Me songs. This is that in this different font, but more worse. Do you understand? Not to mention the blatant disrespect that it is to put a song about Travis Kelce's over a Jackson 5 interpolation. This all feels so blatantly obvious to me, the pipeline that we are sliding down, especially with her bestie. The same week that the album was announced, Lana Del Rey came out with this cover. The fuck?
And of course, as Wyatt at X noted, Taylor Swift getting her white picket fence ending is going to mentally holocaust an entire generation of millennial liberal women who were told everything is going to be okay and you don't need no man or babies. Maybe they should talk to the trad wives. I bet they don't like them either. All right, I'm done with this for today. Thank you very much for going along on this ride. And hey, check out the morning update. It's every morning, even though I said it probably wouldn't be. I don't know why. It just is. And we'll see you next week or tomorrow or whenever. Please visit GrokTALK.com every day because we have new content every day and lots of great authors. And we let them write what they want. We don't tell them what to do. See you later. Bye.